Hi and welcome to Knit All the Things. My name is Laurel. I'm also known as West Maven on Instagram, Ravelry, Blue Sky in here. If you're new, this is a space where I talk about all the things I'm knitting, all the things I want to knit, all things yarn, just all the things. And if you're returning, welcome back, knitting bestie. I can't wait to catch up with you. In this week's episode, I'm really excited to share my sort of finished Hashibami sweater. This is a pattern by Ririko, and I'm gonna give you all the details, and I think I'm gonna have to go back and make some modifications, but I'm gonna share that with you. I also have some progress updates as well as a brand new cast on. So grab your knitting, get cozy, and let's go. Okay, so this week I'm not wearing any knitwear, but there's a reason for that. I finished the Hashibami sweater. This is a pattern by Ririko, and I love it. I love this sweater. It's questionable whether it's the best color on me, but I still love it. I don't care. I'm gonna wear it. What I do need to do, well, let's talk about the construction and then I'll tell you what I need to do next. So this is a top-down lace yoke sweater. It's a very simple pattern. It has both written instructions and charted instructions, which I found very helpful. If I haven't said so yet, this is Hashibami by Ririko. The yarn that I use is the Wandering Flock Cotton Lino in the colorway Burnt Sienna. And I loved working with this yarn so much so that while I was knitting it, I did snag a second sweater's quantity in the navy blue color, which is just, both colors I really do like. This one is a warmer base on me, and I don't typically wear super warm colors. I normally go on the cooler side of things, but I love it so much, and I think I can pull it off. I might just switch up my makeup a little bit to make it make more sense, make it make sense, but I really do like it. So I followed the pattern instructions on the sweater for everything, and I know that the yarn that she used, she had mentioned like this grows a lot, so you know, don't worry. Mine did grow, but I did steam block it partway through, so I'm kind of wondering if that changed up my measurement. But I steam blocked it, and then the body is just not as long as I would like. I would say on me, the body is just slightly cropped. I think what we're gonna have to do is I'm going to do some sweater surgery. I'm going to place the hem on hold, make a little incision, and separate it from the body. I'm gonna then knit about another inch, I think, and then just attach them again. So I think I will just wear it more. I left it like this because I did wear it. I wanted to see like how I was loving it or not loving it, and I still kept finding myself tugging on it a little bit, and we don't need that. If we're gonna make our own garments, we can do them without the tugging. So instead of kind of fighting with the sweater, I am gonna just do that quick little surgery. It will make it a little bit longer. I will like it more. I will say, normally I can always tell too, if you look at the length of the sleeves, I typically end the body where the cuff begins. So this is on the like shorter side altogether that I like. I will say the sleeves are nice, a nice length on me, so I probably will not go the full amount that I would normally do, but maybe just an inch, and I think I will love it then. It'll be just below the top of my jeans, where right now I feel like this one sits right at the top of like a higher waist, so it's just not something I would wear in that way comfortably, at least not without unconsciously like messing with it a lot. So we don't need that. We don't need extra stress to be like in the back of your mind always thinking like, oh, I need to, like, this is, you know, this thing the whole day. So I will do the sweater surgery. I really like how this turned out. It has really nice little details, like there's twisted rib around the neckline and a twisted rib cuff and hem. I would have to look it up, but I think that I did not make the neckline quite as tall, which is something I sometimes do. I either really prefer like a turtleneck or a like crew neck that's not so high up on my neck. And this one, I think I did adjust the amount of rows that I did before starting the lace. This does fit me a little tighter than I had intended. I think that I underestimated my gauge in terms of, I was right on the edge of like close enough to the gauge, meaning like I felt like, oh, blocked, it'll like it's close, but I felt like this yarn, for whatever reason, when I blocked it, I did have it kind of stretched out, but I did just lay it flat still. I didn't like pin it out in any way, and then it seemed like it kind of, as it dried, didn't like stretch, if that makes sense. But it's an easy fix, and I'll be happy to do it. And I don't know, maybe I'll wear it one more time before I actually jump into the sweater surgery and decide it's okay. But like I said, I felt like it was like in the back of my mind, I was always kind of fussing with it, which I didn't like. As a temporary fix until I can do like sew in a tag, I just put a cute little bow. It's super easy to do. You just take a little piece of yarn, kind of use a needle and kind of sew it through the back. So like it's not showing on this side. You just kind of barely pick up some stitches and then do a cute little bow. I've done that sometimes, especially if it's like a sweater like this one where it's lace and you could see a big tag, until I can find something cuter to do. But that is the finished Hashibami. Again, the lace is just so pretty. I really appreciate that they not only gave you charts, but also gave you written instruction if that's how your brain works better. I think having those options is always really nice. And I think that it's really a stunning sweater. And next time I'll wear it. Today it's also really warm in Portland. It's, I think, like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll put on the screen whatever that is in Celsius, but it's warm. And I did not want to wear sleeves right now for this podcast, so we're not gonna do it. But yeah, so this is Hashibami by Ririko. If you had any questions about this knit or any of my knits, please feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. I also wanted to say, if you are not yet signed up for my newsletter, if you sign up for my newsletter, I send out an email with each episode that I do that gives out the links to the patterns and yarns and everything I use and anything I talk about that I think would be useful to your email once I publish an episode. So there's that. I have 2 active whips, one of which I did nothing with, so we're not going to talk about it. But the other one, I started on the sleeves for my diamond jacket. This is a pattern by Anne Ventzel. It has a all over cable pattern to it. It's very simple. And I am just doing the sleeves. Also, this is way too warm to wear, but we'll do it really quick. I think, depending on like how you want to wear things, you could also do this. This would be cute too. But I really do want long sleeves, so we're just going for it. For whatever reason, this is taking me a long time. Not that it's difficult, but previously you were knitting flat, and so it is like garter behind the cables on this, so there's very little purling, and I feel like this one, because you're in the round and not flat, you're purling a lot more, and so I think it just makes me a little bit slower. But once this is done, it'll be a really nice little jacket to wear around. And the yarn that I used is Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. This is the colorway Welly's Heather, and it is a baby alpaca, 70% baby alpaca, 23% nylon, and 7% merino wool. It's a really nice yarn. I think that I would definitely recommend it and I would use it again. It's definitely a bulky weight yarn, so I think it's more me that this hasn't gotten done more than it. It's just been like, oh, that thing I still have to do. And because it's summer, there's no way I'm going to be wearing this anytime soon. And anytime that happens, I really think it's hard to like finish a project for me, because I'm not going to be like, I'm not excited because I'm gonna wear it soon. Some of the features of this pattern has a rounded neckline and a finished edge that you're finishing as you knit it. The pattern is very simple. You're just following a chart. It's not written out at all. And the garment is kind of finished enough if you wanted to be done and just make it a vest, because you do also have finishing around the armholes, and then you pick up and knit the sleeves from it, but you have this nice still kind of finish that you could be done if you really wanted to. I would say part of what kept me from picking up the sleeves right away is it actually took me a while to pick up the correct amount of stitches. I'm sure it was just me, but I think, I'm trying to remember so I can maybe help you out. Maybe I'll for sure speak to this when I pick up the second sleeve, but I think you have to pick up each and every stitch, because it doesn't say like pick up, 2 of 3 stitches or anything like that, 2 of 3 rows. So you are picking up every stitch, and trying to find them, especially in this black, was not the most fun, but it was doable. It took me a couple of tries, and basically what I ended up doing to make it even more easy is you pick up from underneath the arm, and then you go, pick up around, and then your beginning of round is under the arm. So I basically split it in 2 and was like, okay, I'm gonna need this amount of stitches for half of them, and then this for the other half. And that's kind of how I tried to, you could break it up more. You could break it up into like 4 spots so that you are able to pick up the right amount of stitches and not have like not enough or too much by the time you get done. So I would definitely recommend doing that, because maybe if you use a lighter color it will be easier, but this one was like very tricky and very frustrating. I think I probably did it like 4 times before I decided to use the like stitch markers and mark off where I needed to pick up stitches. And as soon as I did that, it was much faster. So I recommend doing that. Let's talk about my newest cast on. And then after that, I have a tiny little spinning update, only because it's Tour de Fleece, which, to be honest, I have no idea what that even means. I don't know, I don't get it, other than a bunch of people spin during this time. If you have more of an insight, please enlighten me, because I just don't actually know. So I'm not going to talk about it like I know anything. Okay, so I cast on a sweater that I'm very excited to share with you guys. I really find this to be like a super easy, super fast knit. I don't anticipate this one taking me too long. This sweater was first published in Lina magazine issue, I don't know what the issue is, but it's autumn 2024. And this particular one, I am using 2 different yarns, and I will say I wanted to cast this on, but I was looking for like the yarn combo. So the recommended yarn is basically a fluffy lace, or you could use a sport weight yarn or something with a halo. So like a mohair, probably better, Surrey would be better. I think it's a wool and cashmere and something else blend that they use for the pattern. But so it is in Lina magazine, autumn 2024. It is also now available as a single pattern. This is by Megumi Shinagawa, and it is the sweater Aika. It's the front of the magazine, and then here's some more pictures of it. The pattern's name means time in Finnish, and in Japanese it could read as Flower of Love, which I thought was really sweet. Can I give you guys more of an idea of what it looks like? So some things I'm keeping in mind. First thing, on the sweater, there's a bit of a like funnel neck / taller neckline, which I don't want. You can kind of see it best here. And instead of doing this, basically what I ended up doing was just not doing a repeat. So in the pattern it says follow the next 4 rows or whatever it is, and then do this, and then do it again. I just didn't do it again, if that makes sense. When you're looking at the pattern, if you knit this, you'll see what I mean. Because I just didn't want such a high situation happening. Now, I'm hoping I won't regret this because as I'm looking at mine is definitely more open. So maybe wait to see what happens with my sweater before you rush and cast this on, because it could not be what you want. But anyway, I loved this sweater a lot, and since this came out, I thought I would try to make it. The second thing I'm gonna keep in mind is that it seems to me that the sleeves are short, and that's not gonna work. So what I think I'm gonna do, because the way this pattern is written, is you are repeating stripes of lace. So I think I could just add a couple of extra stripes if I need to, or lace charts if I need to for the arms. So I'm not so worried. I think I'll just make the sleeves longer because I won't do a bracelet sleeve. It's just not the way I like my sweaters. So that will definitely be a modification that I do. But enough about that. Let's look at what I've started with. So I am using Plymouth yarn Surrey Stratus, which is 68% Surrey alpaca, 32% nylon, and it is black, color 11, black. It's just a fluffy black. This is like a very deflated looking skein, but it's has a nice fluff to it. And then for the second bit, I was with my kids and my husband and decided to stop by my local yarn shop. And my kids really liked this yarn in the color gold, which it's not actually exactly like this, so I'll show it in a minute or a little bit later. But I ended up buying this from Good Yarn. It is called Jenny. So if you look on their website, you can just search Jenny if you like this one. And this is the colorway Bordeaux Silver. So it is like almost like an eyelash yarn. It's Lurex and I believe polyamide. There's nothing that natural about it, but it definitely has a really cool effect. So let me show you close up. It has almost like an eyelash, how it has like bits of Lurex poking through. And the Lurex is both silver and I would say like a copper color. And this is supposed to be Bordeaux, but to be honest with you, like in person, it to me looks more black. Like maybe if you held it with a wine, that would also be fine, but it does look more black to me. And so I decided to hold these two together because I wanted something sparkly. Now I don't think this will be the softest sweater by any means, but I think it will be fine. With the Surrey, I think it's gonna help it out a little bit. But here's my progress so far on the Aika. It does have an interesting way of knitting the lace. The other thing I'm a little bit worried about is that the lace is gonna get lost. I think wearing it, you're gonna be able to see it a lot better. And I wish I could wear it for you, but I don't think we're gonna see it that well right now. No. Okay. You'll just have to take my word for it. I think it's either gonna work or it's definitely not gonna work, and we won't know until it's done. And I can try it on. So we'll find out together. But I'm really enjoying this one. There is very simple lace charts. It's broken down, so it's not like all one giant chart that you have to look at. It's literally like, here's the chart for X amount of stitches for this section. And then the next section, you do some increases, and then it's another chart. So it's very straightforward in terms of having a chart. If you're not very familiar with reading a chart, this would be a great pattern because it's so simple and you're only doing yarn overs and knitting two together or slip slip knit. So lace is simple. It looks more complicated, I would like to say, a lot of times than it actually is, but it is quite simple. Some tips that you can do when you're knitting lace is you can put little markers in, little stitch markers for each lace section. And that will help you keep track so that you know, like, let's see, I have 10 stitches in like this lace section. So as long as each time I come to this one until I do more increases and I have 10, I'm good. And I know that like everything's gonna line up. So I recommend doing that. If you do not like itchy stuff, I wouldn't knit with this one, because I can certainly feel the fabric has like certainly texture, if you will. So if you have super sensitive skin, probably not the one for you. I don't think it's going to be like itchy for me, but I certainly think it's not going to be like the cozy soft sweater, but it is going to be the very blingy sweater, probably the flashiest one I have. I kind of like that in the camera like now, like you do see the sparkle and it's definitely there, but it's, I don't know. In person it's definitely, I would say, sparklier than it's showing up on camera. Well, now you can kind of see, but you can also see the lace. So I'm hopeful that wearing this will be like pretty fun and spectacular to see. But that's as far as I've gotten. I'm not exactly sure how much more I have on the charts before I start to split for sleeves. As you can see, the neckline's a little bit wider and it's going to be lower than the one in the picture because I just don't want it to be up so high, especially with this fabric. I don't think would be great to like have like up on your neck. It definitely sheds a little bit. There is little bits of like sparkle fuzz that falls out. I don't think it would be really great to frog. So there's a couple of things that I would just be like extra careful with. I ended up buying, I wish I knew the exact amount. I think there's like 300 grams on here. I want to say I either did 250 or 300, and this cone total was $12.50. So it's very affordable. If you wanted to try this out, I would definitely recommend it. If you go on Good Yarn's website, there's going to be a couple of tips that I will give you. When you see the yarn, let's say you picked this one, there also is a white one, which I thought was really pretty, and it has like a gold sparkle to it. It would be also very nice. You could totally be like the inverse of this one and it would be super cute. But if you go on their website, you will see that you need to select how many grams of yarn you want because they sell it by the cone. I think there's also a charge for the cone itself. If you're in Portland and you go in and the cone is close to what you want, but maybe it's a little bit heavier, if you buy the whole cone, I believe there's a discount, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think that's only in person. But online, select how many grams you want and it's charged by grams. You have to, I believe, have a minimum of 50 grams. So you do have to have a minimum, but this one, like I said, there is 680 meters and 100 grams. So it is definitely a light fingering lace, but I think with the Surrey, it has enough fluff to really like hold its own. I'm hoping, like, I don't think there's going to be much stretch in this one once it's done, but I am going to certainly try it on a bunch as I go because I think, like I said, the arms I want to be a little bit longer and there's some things I want to change just a little bit. I'm not sure if I should add another lace pattern to the bottom so that all of my ribbing is like reflective of what I've started doing. The neckline, the cuffs, and the hem all have a like twisted kind of pattern of ribbing, and it's kind of a lot. Like it looks like it's several inches of that. So I think to kind of keep it all cohesive, I might add extra lace patterns to make the sleeves longer. I might add one extra on the body and then just minimize that so that it's not the only place that I have like a large amount of that pattern, if that makes sense. So far, this has been really fun to make. My friend Kate and I were talking about this sweater at Sacred Sheep last year, and she just finished hers. It's a beautiful yellow color. I will link her Instagram below if you want to check it out, but it's really pretty, and I I really love hers, and she started hers and was like, are we gonna make this or what? So it definitely put a fire under me to like start. The second thing that I'm about to cast on is I'm about to start a test knit. I'm gonna ask if I can share it with you guys for the next podcast, which I'm pretty sure the answer will be yes. But it's a beautiful textured and cabled pullover that also is going to have a skirt. I don't think I'm making the skirt because I don't wear them, but you could, and it would be very cute on you. So that's kind of all of my knitting that I have for today. I have been doing just a little bit of spinning here and there. I will share with you kind of what I have, but know that I have actually a lot more. It's gonna be hard to show you guys on camera. Right now, I am working on my third bobbin for a 3-ply, and I'm about halfway for this one. And then I'm going to ply it and I'll show you my finished skein. And then I'll show you some of my other like smaller spinning projects that I've just been kind of picking up when I have a few minutes. Okay, so this is the skein that I already have done with that wool. I bought all of the braids from Fat Cat Knits on Etsy. I'll link them below. And I will also either there or in my newsletter share the colorways with you. But it turned out really nice. I'm spinning. This is 100% Polworth. I really like it. I was not familiar with the wool before, but I really enjoy spinning it, and the finished yarn feels like so soft and fluffy. Again, this is a 3-ply. This is the first time that I've done this. We'll see how the next one goes. And then if you guys missed this video, I went to the Black Sheep Gathering, which was held in Albany, Oregon, and I got some Jenkins Spindles. In that video, I told you incorrect information. This is an Aegean spindle, and it is made with lilac wood. And I think I called it something else, so that was not correct. I actually like totally lied about all of my spindles from there. And I looked later and I was like, that's not what that is at all. Okay, and then I'm spinning wool that was gifted to me, and it doesn't have like the content. So I couldn't tell you that, but I'll just show you the braid because it's really pretty. And so it's kind of a like little bit of a variegated pink. That's how it's spinning up. And so that's that. And then this is a chickadee from Jenkins Spindles, and I'm using Kiara Higgins wool. And I believe I just recently saw I'm drawing a total blank, but if I can think of it, I'll put it on the screen. A local yarn store in Washington, I think, is carrying her fiber, and for some reason I can't think of the name of it. But I will put it on the screen because I can look it up. I can figure it out. But it's a really pretty. This one is the colorway Obsidian, and it's Zwardle's wool, alpaca, merino, and stellina. And it has like a copper stellina in it, so it has like a nice little subtle sparkle. I think there's two ways I could go about this. One, I think I'm kind of spinning it super thin, so I could use it as a like carry along and do like if I did another type of sweater like this, it could just be like a little bit of it in with like something else. Or I could probably ply it a bunch and then make some mittens. But it's a really pretty, like I want to not do anything too crazy with this one because I really love how it's turning out. I really like the stellina. I think is too subtle for the camera to pick up. Maybe it will, but it really is gorgeous in person. So there's that. And then from Banshee Fiber Art Studio, I have this BFL that is on my Snyder spindle, and I'm plying it. So I have still, I think I'm getting tired of this one, so I just wanted to ply it and be done with it. However, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know if I'm gonna like still spin this also, or if I'm gonna just throw this and like use later, like a scrap. Do they do, I don't know, is scraps a thing when you have wool fiber? I don't know. But I would maybe make it a scrap because I'm kind of getting tired of this project. Most of it is, it might be hard to tell, is mostly just a cream color. And then there is some of this purple, but really the main portion of it is just cream, which is like just not exciting to me at all to spin. But the wool itself, the BFL, is really, really nice. And that's it. I don't have anything yet on my other new spindle, but I will. I think I have enough projects going to keep me busy for a while and keep me out of trouble. So that was my quick little spinning update. And that's all I've got for that. Other than that, I'm about to take a masterclass, another class on human design, which is basically, I like to explain it as astrology on steroids, that kind of gives you like actionable steps to take to kind of be your authentic self and be in flow. And so my second class is going to be about like further building on what I've already studied myself and classes that I've took, but it's going to be more based on like teams and partnerships and relationships and families. So I'm really excited to take that, and it's about to start next week. So that will be really exciting. But that, other than those things, that's what I've been doing. And I've spent a lot of time with my kids, a lot of time outside, a lot of time in parks, playing around. So we've been very busy. But if we are not yet knitting besties, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, and please like this video. It tells YouTube that other fiber enthusiasts like yourself enjoy this type of content. Until next time, make some yarn magic. Bye!